All right, let's add the shaders. Actually, we need to convert our stuff into a drawable, into something that the game understands. So you can rename this like that. And go to Solums, go to drawable, then make sure the auto embed is on, then click on drawable. And you should see the hierarchy looking like this. One is .col, C-O-L, and the other one is .model. Expand the .col, go to collisions, and where it says create collision material, just look for glass. You can even have like glass bulletproof. It doesn't matter. Even if you select something else like concrete, it doesn't matter. It's just gonna sound weird. So select bulletproof and create collision material. You now have unbreakable glass. Collapse this. Expand where it says dot model. Collapse the collisions and expand drawable. Go to shader tools and search for where it says glass ENV. Select it in the list. Select the dot model right here and create shader material. With the glass dot underscore env, expand your stuff in here so you can see the textures and see the shader. On my previous tutorials, I showed you how to open all that stuff, so I'm not going to go through that again. With the glass env selected, move the mouse over the shader editor area and press home. That will zoom into what you're trying to do in here. Let's hide the collisions because you're not going to be seeing the textures. So what it says underscore glass dot col, hold shift and click the eye. That will hide the collisions. And on this area, move the mouse over this area where you see the shader setup and hold control and press space. It looks a little scary here. There is nothing to be scared of. Just move some of the stuff out of the way so you can see exactly which texture goes where. Like so. Like this tree. So as you can see, it says diffuse, spec, and bump. We already saved, if you remember, we already saved those, diffuse, bump, and spec, right? So on the diffuse sampler, click on the folder icon and go to the place where you save the textures and select diffuse. On the spec, select spec, and on the bump, select bump. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Zoom out a little bit, hold control and press space. And now you should see the glass in Blender right here. Next, we're going to be adding the textures for the frame, for the wood frame. So we can now hide everything, not everything, but talking about the glass. Hide the glass and click on interior window frame, unhide it, hold shift, click the eye. So you can see what you're looking at right here. Then go to drawable, create drawable object, auto embed needs to be on, and click on convert to drawable. Expand and pretty much repeat the same process. expand collisions. And instead of glass bulletproof, we just add wood solid medium. Create collision material. Make sure you have the dot poly underscore mesh selected. Create a collision material. Oops, select the wrong one. And if that's the case for you too, for some reason they didn't want to take my solid medium selected on the list, click on convert to selected. That will change it. Next, so we're done with the collisions now. You can hide them. Click on .col. That will hide the collisions. Then we will go to drawables, shader tools. We're going to add default. Select it in the list. Click on dot model and create shader material. Like so. Then you go to edit mode. Make sure you're in face select mode. Press A, then UV, smart UV project. We will create in two shaders, one for the wood and one where the glass meets the frame. I think we should resize this a little bit because the glass is going to be exactly the same size, but we're going to be resizing the glass. We're not going to be resizing the frame. So with this selected, select the default, go to where you see shaders, material in here, and click on assign. And then on the UV, on the shader, let's add the textures first, then we will be resizing the texture. On the diffuse sampler, you're only going to have this one to work with. Well, there's more to work with, but this is what we want right now. Click on the folder icon and go somewhere that you have some textures. Let's see, wood. And we're going to be adding like a bright texture in here. If you sit exactly the way I sit, you just press Shift Alt and Z. That will hide the preview, the overlay, the green overlay, or whatever color is going to be for you. Probably is going to be different. And on the UV editor in here, move the mouse over it, press A to select everything, kind of zoom in if you want, and press S to resize. So you now have like a wood texture for the frame. We said that we're going to be adding a new shader to have the glass show nicely around the frame, well, inside the frame. So go out of actually press Alt and Shift and Z to make the overlay visible again, and select the inside, the four faces that's going to display where the glass is going to be, like that. The reason we do this is because the glass is going to be transparent, it's going to be clear, and you will be, if was the right way to say it, you will be seeing this one and looks is going to be look unnatural. It's like it's the glass is not stuck into the frame. It's just going to look weird. So we're going to be adding a new shader. So go to default, create shader. So we're going to name this plain woods and create shader material. glass frame. So with those 4 faces selected all around, select the glass frame and assign. That's gonna give us a new diffuse sampler to add a new texture for the 4 faces. So click on the folder icon, select a different texture. We're gonna make it wood, but we're gonna make it darker. As you can see, we have a different texture in here. You can resize it if you want. So with those selected, we still have them selected here. It's hard to see because they're tiny. Oh, right here. Press S to resize until you're happy. Maybe the hardwood texture wasn't all that good. I'm gonna look for something else. So that's a little bit more appropriate for what we do. Now, if we unhide the glass that we created earlier, you will see what I'm talking about. So go on object mode. We kind of done texturing everything. And we also have collisions for this one, and we have collisions and textures for the glass. So let's see what it looks like. Keep the collisions hidden. This is gonna look like was gonna look like, and now I hope it makes sense for you to understand that where the glass meets the wood frame, the color is not gonna be the same. It's gonna be a bit different. Maybe I exaggerate a little bit. Maybe it's too dark. It should be a little brighter, and maybe recessed as in the glass going in, right? That will make more sense. But we don't want to create geometry for no reason. So nobody's gonna be close to the window. This guy, did he really did that? Nobody's gonna be paying attention to that kind of detail. Plus, you're not getting paid to do this, so there's that. Yes, so we're done. We're done with the creating the glass, creating the frame, and let's spawn this this geometry in game. So it's now time to unhide everything. We can just move this out of the way. Come on, you fuck, get out of the way, like that. And name it something that you can find it later without struggling. So I just collapsed everything. I didn't do anything else other than collapsing the menu so I can see exactly what I'm looking at. Let's embed the textures. I almost forgot. So go to where it's the dot model. That's going to be the drawable. Select the shader. And expand solums. You should be on this area where it says material. Expand texture parameter, and then click on embed. Then click the next shader down where it says glass frame and embed. Then expand the frame glass, expand the dot model, and click the shader. And embed all 3 textures for the glass. You only have 1 shader. So the glass has 1 shader and the wood frame has 2 shaders. Two textures. All right, let's export it to game. So with this selected, let's export them one by one. Expand general. Click on interior window frame. Export selected. Export CodeWalker XML. And then select the second one down. Export CodeWalker XML. And hopefully you should see your stuff on the desktop. Right here. So you should also see 2 XML files and 2 folders. If you go into those, you will see the textures that the texture names that we embedded. Then open your RPF Explorer, access a RPF file that hopefully you already have created, and select the XMLs in here. Make sure your edit mode in here. Do not modify the game file. You should have a different RPF. And if you click on the file names that you drag and dropped from your location into the RPF Explorer, you should see something like this. It's a bit hard to see the glass. Maybe I should have used a dirty texture. May have not taken our setting. And the second one is the glass. Oh, so those two are different. We have not merged those two models. That's fine. So that's the glass. Next, we go into CodeWalker. We go to this place where we know that we're going to be having the frame into. We're not going to be able to put the frame inside the house, mainly because we cannot be here because the game does not have collisions in here. But we're going to put it next to this window so you can see it, right? So go to, let me start a new video, right? This one is 17 minutes. Let me start a new video and we'll take it from there.